Hello, and welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Claire, and joining me is Alan. We're covering several key stories making headlines today.
Hi, Claire. Hi, everyone. I'm Alan. Let's dive into the news.
First up, President Trump has signed an executive order to rename Lake Ontario as Lake America amid escalating trade tensions with Canada.
That's an interesting move. How does this renaming affect the actual geography or legal status of the lake?
According to the reporting, this move is largely symbolic, reflecting the ongoing trade war between the U.S. and Canada. The articles mention that Trump has previously attempted to rename the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America.
So it's part of a broader pattern of assertive rhetoric from the Trump administration towards Canada and possibly other neighboring regions.
Exactly. The context suggests that this is another front in the trade tensions rather than a serious attempt to change geographical names.
What's the reaction been from Canada or other affected parties?
The reports don't detail specific reactions from Canada, but it's reasonable to assume they might view this as another provocative move in the trade dispute.
Moving on, Ratko Mladic, the former Bosnian Serb general responsible for numerous atrocities during the Bosnian War, has died in prison at the age of 84.
Yes, Mladic was serving a life sentence for war crimes. His death marks the end of a significant chapter in the pursuit of justice for the victims of the Bosnian conflict.
What were some of the key atrocities he was held responsible for?
The reporting highlights his role in overseeing atrocities during the Bosnian War, though it doesn't go into specific details. It's known that he was convicted for war crimes.
The fact that he died in a UN prison hospital suggests he was still under international custody. How does his death impact the broader narrative of the Bosnian War and its aftermath?
It likely brings some closure to the families of the victims and serves as a reminder of the international community's efforts to hold war criminals accountable, even if it's years after the fact.
Next, the Tate brothers, social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate, are back in court in Miami as they challenge their extradition to the UK to face charges of rape and sex trafficking.
That's right. The brothers are currently being held in a Miami detention center while they fight extradition. Their legal team is seeking their release on bond.
What are the specific charges they're facing in the UK, according to the available information?
The reports mention rape and sex trafficking charges. The details of these charges aren't elaborated upon in the articles we've seen.
How does their social media presence factor into their legal situation or public perception?
The reporting doesn't directly address how their social media influence impacts their case, but it's likely that their online presence has drawn significant public attention to their situation.
Let's shift gears to the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. After 6 months, the initial objectives of the conflict have apparently shifted, with the Strait of Hormuz now being a top concern.
Initially, President Trump expected the conflict to last 4 to 5 weeks. Now, 6 months in, the focus has moved to ensuring the Strait of Hormuz remains open or addressing its potential closure.
So the strategic priorities have evolved over time. What's driving the current focus on the Strait of Hormuz?
The strait is a critical waterway for global oil shipments. The U.S. and Iran's conflict has raised concerns about potential disruptions to this vital trade route.
How does this development tie into the broader geopolitical dynamics in the region?
The situation involves multiple regional and global players. The reporting suggests that the conflict's escalation has significant implications for international trade and security.
On a related note, Qatar's prime minister is set to visit Tehran to pursue mediation efforts between the U.S. and Iran.
Yes, Qatar is attempting to play a diplomatic role, given its relationships with both the U.S. and Iran. The visit aims to discuss ways to de-escalate tensions.
What specific areas of tension is Qatar likely to focus on during these mediation efforts?
The articles indicate that the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz will be a key topic, as well as broader efforts to reduce regional tensions.
As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that these stories are interconnected through themes of conflict, diplomacy, and geopolitical tensions.
That's a great point, Alan. The trade tensions, war crimes accountability, social media influencers facing serious charges, and the complex dynamics between the U.S. and Iran all reflect broader global challenges.
It's been a detailed conversation. Thanks for joining us, Claire.
Thanks, Alan. That's all for today. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you later. I think we've done a good job of exploring these different news stories.
Indeed, we have. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.